man, I never want to go through this situation again. And I started learning about credit. Say, for example, someone reaches out and say, hey, I need a dispatching VA for my trucking industry. I want to be able to say, hey, we don't specialize in trucking VAs, but I have another company that specializes in dispatchers. They train them, they manage them. This is their specialty and their expertise. Let me send you over to this agency right here. We assign every client that comes through a client success manager. Their role is to reach out to the client every single week just to check in with them. Hey, how's it going this week? How's your VA working out? Any issues, any additional training that you feel like your VA may need, right? I'm just reassuring that person like, hey, we're here for you every step of the way.
What's going on, family? Welcome to another episode of the Digital Empire Podcast, where we talk about everything digital investments and entrepreneurship. Look, I'm talking to you all every single episode about how to be able to create a six-figure digital empire. And some of y'all haven't taken action yet. Y'all just, for some reason, life haven't slapped you in the face yet, where it's like, yo, I'm tired of being at the place that I'm in right now. I'm tired of working my 9 to 5. I want to create a business. I want to become an entrepreneur. I'm tired of working for someone else when they don't even care about me. Look, I have something for you. I was working a 9 to 5, literally not even a year ago. It's going to be a year this year that I have been able to leave my 9 to 5 to be able to come to you guys and show you how I was able to leave working at Papado, 101 Steak, Ruth Chris, all hospitality places, y'all, to now being able to break 100K months. Literally, this is what happened. Let me tell you, I was able to break 100K months in 6 months, to be more exact. And I'm gonna show you exactly how I was able to do it and how exactly I was able to do it from working a job, creating multiple 4 to 5 figures while working my 9 to 5, to then leaving my 9 to 5, to then scaling my business. Y'all, I'm gonna show you how to fund your business without using your own money. There's so many things in this book that I could be charging tens of thousands of dollars, and I'm gonna share with you how exactly I did it, and with pennies of the dollar. It costs $10, y'all. Worst case scenarios, you learn something more and profit off of it. Okay, so look, click the link, thedigitalempire.ebook.com. Get the ebook, y'all. You guys already know I have to bring the best of the best here on this podcast. We're not wasting no time. Like, why we gotta waste time on something where this man has been changing lives? Let me give y'all a little introduction real quick. See, a lot of people, I don't give introductions, but this man right here, we gotta give introductions. All right, there's so much hype around him right now. I don't even know where to start. This man is the #1 virtual assistance educator in the entire planet, staffing company in the entire planet. And the best part, this is where the best part comes in. It is Black owned, and y'all already know we love melanin companies. So can we go ahead and just shout out to my man Kenn? What's going on, boss? You good, man?
What's going on, King? Hey, that definitely was one of the best intros I ever had.
Look, man, I'm here to edify, man. I learned that from like network marketing. Like, the best thing you could ever do to a person is edify them in a way that they're like better than you. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's lit. So can you tell the audience like what exactly you do, how you help people, how you serve?
So I own, like you said, the #1 virtual staffing agency in the world, as well as I teach and coach people how to start their own VA staffing agency. Outside of that, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I have a few businesses inside Atlanta, but more importantly, I'm a father, fiance. Yeah.
Look, I'm one of those people that like to say things in the future. You might as well just go and say husband. You might as well go ahead and put that out there, because that's, for me, that's what the fiance is. It's just the pending. That's all it is, just pending right now. But for me, we just gonna go ahead and say it's approved. The check mark is already there. I mean, y'all been together for so long, it only makes sense. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So on this podcast, I like to talk about like the OG version of yourself. Like, what was it before, who you were before the CEO Kenn, right? Like, can you break down like what you were doing before Kenn Collier became the actual virtual assistance guru, the main man that people go to? Like, what were you doing before?
Now, I'm good you said that, because the reason I'm doing what I do now is because the old Kenn and all of that led up to what I do now. But hey, just a little background about me and why I do what I do right now, right? So I was a father at 14 years old, right? Had my daughter. I'm a single dad by 19.
Oh, wow.
21, I had another kid, a son. I became a single dad to him as well. Outside of that, I always wanted to, spend more time with my family, have more freedom. And all of that led up to what I do now, right? But we talk about entrepreneurship. I've always had that entrepreneurship spirit, right? Always hustling, always finding a way to create income, make money for my family, right? Everything from owning a tow truck, a mechanic shop, to owning a tax agency, a hair store, now owning an event center as well as a kid salon. So all of that led up to me doing what I do now, right?
Dang. So you pretty much what they would call a serial entrepreneur. You just been dabbling in all types of things. What I have seen with people who do a lot of different businesses is that they have a taste of every industry, right? So you can't really tell a person you can't do something because you've already done it. You know what I'm saying? So like, how does that work? Like, how did that translate? Like, where was the pivoting point when you were like, you know what, like I got to do this on my own? Like, did you ever work a job? Was that ever something that was in your mind? And if so, how did you pivot from that?
No, definitely. I definitely worked the job, right? And my first job, which led me to entrepreneurship, right? So my first job, I worked at an auto parts store, right? I think I was about maybe 19, 20 years old. When I first started working the job, I knew nothing about cars, didn't even know how to change oil or brakes, right? I was hired as just a attendant and salesperson. So I came into the job, worked there for about 2 or 3 years, learned just about everything you can learn about cars, right? Engines, motors, how to change brakes. And I can put an engine in the car right now and take one out. Most people don't believe me. I do everything online now. Most of my business is digital, but I can leave and go to my garage right now, snatch a transmission out, snatch an engine out if I wanted to, right? But just working that actual job, I ended up meeting people, meeting mechanics, running to people that needed parts and needed their car worked on. And I was like, dang, how can I provide a solution to all of the people that's coming in here, right? And the first thing I did was I saved up some money and ended up buying my first tow truck, right? And from my tow truck, I ended up opening up a mechanic shop, ran that mechanic shop in Atlanta for about 4 years. It went well, right? At the time, it was going great for a few years. At the time, I didn't really know about credit. I wasn't savvy to online and running my business online, right? So I got into an accident in my truck, right? I had this big shop. We had contracts. We was impounding cars. And I had a big contract that I was just about to land, right? But I ended up wrecking my truck.
Dang.
And when I wrecked my truck, that was the only truck I had, and I had no money to get another truck. I totaled it out. I had no money to get another truck. I didn't have any credit, right, to go to the bank and buy another truck. And people used to ask me all the time, why don't you just go to the bank and get a loan? But it wasn't that easy, right? Remember, I knew nothing about credit. We wasn't talking about credit like we're talking about now.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's a different time now.
This is like 2007, 2008.
People didn't even know what credit was.
Nah.
It was taboo.
So from that point, I ended up losing the contract because I couldn't pay the bills because I had no tow truck, right? I ended up losing the shop. Dang. And from there, I started researching like, man, I never want to go through this situation again. And I started learning about credit, right? Ended up repairing my credit, right? Worked on my credit for about 6 months to a year. And in between that time, I was just doing whatever I can do to hustle. Working on cars, washing cars. I was doing every damn thing you could think about just to survive, right? And take care of my kids. So I ended up learning about credit and I ended up repairing my credit, right? And at the time when I started learning about credit, I just started getting I wasn't tech savvy at all. And I just ended up learning how to do things online. And I got more interested in the computer, more interested in the digital space. And from there, I was like, I don't want to go back to changing oils and working on cars.
But yeah, you didn't found a good life.
Found a good life, right? And I ended up opening up a tax office, right? And that was kind of my merger from everyday working, with my hands to actually running a digital online business.
So you were doing credit. Did other people then say, you know what, I need to know how to get my credit done too? Like, how did that work? Did other people?
I wasn't doing credit then at the time. I was repairing my credit, repairing my family members' credit, right? Repairing my friends' credit, going to the bank, helping them get loans and credit cards. They'll pay me a little something, but I didn't think of it as a business. I didn't even know a credit repair business existed.
Got you.
But what I did was I took the good credit I had, ended up getting an office, getting a tax software, investing in the class. And I ended up opening up my first tax office over at Greenbrier Mall.
Oh, Greenbrier, that's throwback. Yeah, we know what Greenbrier is. People in the A know what Greenbrier Mall is.
Greenbrier Mall.
So like at that point when you had lost totaled your truck, like was there a dark place in between that time before you were like, you know what, let's just immediately pivot and do the car washing and get the credit and everything? Like what was that moment like when that happened, especially since you were about to land that deal?
Yeah, it was definitely a dark time because I had done worked hard, right, to purchase that tow truck. I was working a job and I worked the job and saved up for about 2 years, right? And I purchased a truck. When I purchased a truck, it was a wreck, right? So I bought a wreck truck, let it sit in my front yard for about 6 more months, saved up some more money, pieced the truck together. Right? So I put time and work into building the truck. I didn't even know how to drive a stick shift when I bought the truck.
Oh, wow.
But I was just eager, like, let me start this business. And I taught myself how to drive the tow truck. So I put a lot into building that company, right?
Yeah, there was sweat equity.
So it was a lot of sweat equity. So when that happened, and remember, I had 2 kids at the time, right? Not only 2 kids, I was the person in my family that everybody depended on, right? I was the one that everybody depended on. So not only did I feel like, dang, I let myself down, I felt like I let my kids down, but also I felt like I let my family down and friends down, community down. Everybody looked up to me, right? I was one of the first persons in my neighborhood, my friend group, that had a business.
Right.
Everybody depended on me. So I just kind of felt like I let everybody down. Not only that, I didn't have the money to pay my bills, right? So I definitely went through a dark place, a really dark place. And that's what kind of made me pivot to trying to start a business where it was online, digital, where I didn't have to worry about that. All I needed was a computer, Wi-Fi, and a phone, right?
So when did was the credit time where you then was like, okay, this digital space is lit? So like, when did the virtual assistants come into play? Like, what led to the virtual assistant side? Because you're coming from trucking, well, not trucking, but like a mechanic, an auto parts store, to then fixing your own credit, to then VAs. That's a drastic difference. You get what I'm saying? So like, where was that point where you were like, from credit to VAs? Like, where did that happen?
So I ran a tax company at the time, and then that's when I started learning about credit, right? Like basically, that's when I started learning that, hey, you can actually make money with a credit repair company as well, right? And I just started offering a service to all my tax clients.
Okay.
And at the time, it was new to everybody.
Right.
Right. And I just started, I think I was charging like $25 a month or something real small.
Man, I wish I wish
something real small back then.
Crazy.
And it just started there. And I actually, I think I launched the company in like 2014, I think. And at the time, I started getting online, started joining different Facebook groups, and I ran into a few friends that had credit repair companies. That's when I first met Derek Harper, right? Online back in 2014.
From a Facebook group?
From a Facebook group. He was the first person that I ever saw talking and teaching about credit back in 2014, right?
What?
You didn't have any softwares out. You didn't have any automations for your company. None of that stuff was out there.
Facebook groups wasn't even a big thing in 2014.
It wasn't. I think it was 2014, yeah. But I ended up, from there I ran a successful credit repair company. Had up till about 2017, I had about 600 plus clients.
Dang.
We was kind of killing it, right? And at the time, my friends and the people that I was learning from, the coaches, they was teaching you how to build a credit repair company, but nobody was teaching you how to build teams, right?
Got you.
They was teaching you how to automate your company, the softwares you needed, and the processes, the dispute process and all of that. But nobody was really teaching you how to build a team. At the time, it was me, my son and mom that was helping me out in the company. I had friends, brothers. I had a few people helping me in the company. 2017, something happened that drastically changed my life, right? Forever. December 4th, 2017, on my son's 10th birthday, I get a phone call. I get a phone call from my brother's sister, right? Saying, hey, our mom just was murdered, right? She was just killed on my son's 10th birthday. Yep. She was tragically shot in a tragic accident.
Your mom?
No, my son's mom. My son's mom.
Oh, wow.
Right? So we was waking up in the morning, getting ready to go. It was his 10th birthday, so we was all expecting her to come to the school in the morning for cupcakes and all of that. And we got that bad news, and man, that kind of changed my life forever. One, of course, because I was grieving, dealing with depression, going through counseling with my family, and at the time, none of my clients cared about anything that was going on. All they cared about was, hey, I paid you for my credit, repair my credit. What's going on, right? And I just went through a period of mental breakdown, depression. I didn't know how to deal with it. I didn't know how to respond to my clients. I didn't even know how to run my business anymore. Right. And not to mention, she was helping me in my business. She was a big part of the business at the same time.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
And when that happened, I really had nobody else to step up and help me. So I kind of went in depression mode, mental breakdowns. I ended up just walking away from my business and walking away from 600 plus clients, right? I was getting chargebacks. I was getting everything, but I couldn't deal with it mentally, right? So I went through that period and for a few months, right? And my business just kind of failed, right? A business that I built up from nothing, it kind of just failed because I wasn't mentally in it. I didn't have a team, didn't have any of that stuff. And I just made a decision once I got my head right. I made a decision like, man, I never want to go through that again. Let me learn how to build a team, right, for the next business that I want to start. So I started looking online, started researching. I started hearing about VAs back then, and I heard from VAs from my good friend, Ty Crandall. He was the first person that ever taught me about VAs. And I started hiring my first VA from Upwork. I don't even think Online Jobs was out then.
Nah. It was still teens, 2017, 2018? No, it wasn't out then.
So I think I was on Upwork. So I hired my first VA, hired the second VA, and it didn't really work work out, right? And I remember I was on the phone with one of them. If y'all don't know what VAs are, it's a virtual assistant, right? Someone that works virtually for you remotely. Anything you're doing from a computer or a desk, they can basically do it for you, right? That's what a VA is. And I was hiring the VAs from the Philippines at the time. I remember being on a FaceTime call with one of my VAs. And remember, I had never left the country, right? Never been anywhere else outside the United States. So I thought the Philippines was like a third world country, at least.
Yeah.
I thought it was like dirt, and I didn't know what to expect, right? But I was on a FaceTime on a video call with one of my VAs, and she was just showing me her background. I was like, this looked just like the United States. It's trees,
really?
fun, buildings, tall buildings, everything, right? And I was like, wow, I didn't know it was like that. Keep in mind, I was paying her like $2 an hour. Something like $2 an hour when you're living like this over in the Philippines. It was like strictly like a third world country. I didn't know what to expect. But once I saw that, I was like, dang, I want to go and visit the Philippines. So I ended up getting with my friends. We ended up flying over to the Philippines. It was the first trip I ever took out the country, and I went to the Philippines, right?
Oh, wow. That's a big jump right there,
It was a
man.
big jump.
Not out of the state, not next door.
Yeah.
But you went across past India.
Yeah.
Or it's probably the opposite way, right? Okay, so yeah, you went past Cali and all them. You skipped all the states.
Yeah.
Went straight there. How does it even look there anyway?
Man, it looks good, man. It's beautiful in certain parts of the Philippines. Remember, you got places over here that looks like a third world country sometimes, depending on where you're at. But you got places over. Remember, now you got a lot of large corporations that's located in the Philippines.
That's
right?
true.
Chase Bank, for example, their whole customer support department and call center in the Philippines. You got Xerox, you got Netflix is over in the Philippines. You got a lot of
phone companies,
Verizon, Xbox.
Yep.
You got a lot of corporation that's in the Philippines, right? So when I flew over to the Philippines, I saw that. I was like, dang, I definitely didn't expect that. Because remember now we can expect that because we've heard of virtual assistants for years.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was new to me, right? And I just didn't know what to expect. But when I went over there at the time, I think I was down to like one VA at the time. So I just started hiring. She met us over there as well. So she was kind of our guide and our tour guide.
That's dope.
But we just started recruiting from that point. And what changed my mind and what made me say, dang, this is what I think I want to do, right? One of the person that I hired, there was a professor with a master's degree working at a university in the Philippines, making about $3 an hour. I interviewed the person and offered them $5 an hour. They quit their job the next day to come work for me. And there was a professor at a university in the Philippines with a master's degree, speak perfect English, highly educated, and was willing to quit their job as a professor in the Philippines to come work for me for $5 an hour.
An extra $2, which
extra
means
$2.
nothing to us.
Yeah.
For people who aren't aware, like the dollar leverage between the U.S. and the Philippines are drastic. So like our dollar means a lot more to the Filipino dollar, or was it the Filipino peso? Is what it's really called.
So the minimum wage in the Philippines is equivalent to about $1.25 an hour.
That I did not know. I didn't know it was that much.
So imagine paying someone $3 an hour, $4 an hour. You just changed their life. It may not seem like a lot of money to us,
right?
But when you're over in the Philippines, you just 3, 4, 5x their income. Yeah. So when I hired that person, and I started helping my friends get a VA. I helped Derek get a VA, Brandon get a VA. They was the two that flew over there with me. Brandon shot me, if you know him. Derek Harper. They were the ones that flew over to the Philippines with me. I started helping them get a VAs. Started helping my friends back home hire VAs, and then I was like, dang, okay, I got a business, right? So it seems like all the businesses that I started, it was all out of a result of trying to help myself, right? And then once I figured out the process and I learned the process, I was able to create and start a business.
So when hiring these virtual assistants, right, for people who aren't aware, right, like what would you say a simple process is to hire a virtual assistant?
And the simple process is, when we think about virtual assistants, some people think like, okay, I can hire one VA to do everything that I need, right? The first step is determining what you need help with.
Right.
Right. If you're running a business, the first thing you want to do is just think about this. All businesses are broken down into different departments.
Right.
Most businesses are broken down into 4 different departments: marketing, sales, operations, customer service.
Right.
And if you can kind of break your company down to those different departments, and then that's what you want to kind of do is you want to list down all the things that you're doing in your current business, right? All the tests that you're doing, maybe 10 tests, maybe 100 tests that you're doing.
Right.
List everything down that you're doing. And then go through that list and highlight everything on that list green that you're great at doing, you enjoy doing, right? And you love doing. Next on that list, highlight everything red that you don't like doing, that you don't enjoy doing, and that kills you most of your energy. Right? And then, of course, there are going to be some things in your business that you want to get done that you're not currently doing. Write that down and highlight that yellow. Might be marketing, running ads, or whatever it is, list that stuff down and highlight that yellow. Now, the reason I said do that is because once you look at that list, there are going to be things on that list that you enjoy doing, you love doing, which is probably the thing that you're doing the most in your business because you enjoy doing it, right? Which means it's probably what's eating you up most of your time. I always say whenever you're thinking about hiring a VA, hire a VA, one, to get back some time, to get back your freedom. So if you're busy in your business, how can you hire someone to help you get back a little bit more of your freedom so you can focus on other things in your business that's going to create more revenue, right? That's one of the most important reasons to hire. For the other reason would be if you need to get some things done in your business that you don't quite know how to do or do in your business, you can hire for that. But once you write that list down, take everything that's green, and like I said, it's probably what you spend the most of your energy and time on doing, start outsourcing that stuff first. Now, I know a lot of people do it the opposite way. They try to outsource the stuff that they don't like doing, right? Or that they're not good at.
Yeah, this is a different concept. I've never heard somebody doing the green than the red.
So I say, the reason I say
look, are you looking for a like-minded community of people who are trying to build a digital investment and digital entrepreneurship business? Well, look, we got something for you. You are listening to this podcast because you want to build a digital investment or become an entrepreneur. Well, look, we got a big community down below in the description. It's called the Digital Empire Patreon. This is something that only people who have joined and listened to this podcast. So this is an exclusive people. You have to listen to this podcast just to be able to get to this Patreon. Okay. So go ahead, subscribe. It literally costs you less than a coffee. Get in, go ahead and just join and get the free content that is a part of that. And I'm telling you, y'all, this content that I'm breaking down, I'm not putting out in public. So you must join in order to get the exclusive stuff that I can't even say in public. So look, y'all, just tap in, just click the link.
Green because it's probably the thing that easiest for you to train somebody else how to do. If it's something that you're great at doing, you're good at doing, and you spend a lot of time doing, it's probably easiest for you to train somebody else how to do that task. Plus, once they can do that task and you can delegate that task, now you have more freedom and time to do the other things in your business that needs to get done.
And you may enjoy it more now because you have more time to it. So that green and yellow could be, that yellow and red could eventually be a yellow and green.
Yeah. Plus, you have more time to focus on, if you're not great at doing it, now you have more time to focus on learning how to do it better.
Right. And becoming better at it.
Right. So I say that first, identify the task in your business that you need to delegate first, probably what you spend the most time on. And then once you start to hire a VA for those, like I said, for those things that they can come in and do for you. But I would say whenever you're hiring a VA, man, it's real simple, right? Most people think it's real difficult to do, but it's really simple. One, identify what you need help with, identify the role that you need help with, and then create a job post it online. You can do online jobs. You can do different Facebook groups. You can do LinkedIn, right?
Right.
I mean, here's the thing. There's thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of VAs that's willing to come work for you for $2, $3 an hour, right? All you have to do is just create a job, post it, and watch the inboxes get flooded with people that's willing to come help you free up your time and make more money.
Literally. What I have seen though on online jobs, I don't know if you may have this experience, but I know we're having this experience with hiring new VAs, is that online jobs doesn't give the same volume that it used to give. I don't know if it's because a lot of people are a lot more hip on online jobs now. Because back in the day, you post something, you get flooded like as soon as possible, or if the night of. If you wake up, you have hundreds of people. Yeah. Nowadays, it's not the same.
Yeah, so what usually happens is just like we're trying to look for really great VAs, they're looking for really great people to work for, right? So it's about how you attract your candidates as well, right? So what I always do on a job post, I always list either my company's information or social media, my personal social media, so that before they apply, they can get to know me a little bit better and say, okay, cool. He has a real company. I don't think he's going to steal from me. I don't think he's trying to get me to work and not pay me. He's legitimate, right? Let me go ahead and apply for this person, right? And that's one thing that a lot of people fail to do. The VA wants to get to know you before you apply. Just like if you go and apply for any job anywhere, you want to research the company and know who you're working for, besides just posting the job applying, right?
That's true.
So that's one of the things that help get more candidates as well. Letting them buy into you and know who you are as a company and as a person as well.
Well, we've also implemented, I think we saw you do this one time on your site. We were like, oh, that's genius, is we'll create a website and have a career section. And then we'll have the form in the career section. And then, of course, a person thinks you're professional when you have a website.
Yep.
And then of course your social medias and your website, it's very easy to just scroll down and click your social media. But I felt like that was also like a really, really quick hack that most people don't think about. Actually, since having a staffing company, I don't think anybody ever thinks about that, honestly. Like having a website and having a career section, we always see it. I think everybody's still in the employee mindset where it's like, I have a company, but I'm not really treating it as a company. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's a totally different story. Having a legit company, a website, not a funnel, but a website, an official website for your company, having a career section, and about us section, and this section, and this, that, and the third. So it's crazy how that works.
And the other thing is, we used to be big on like mission statements, vision statements, and all of that stuff when we're trying to go and apply for a company, want to read all of that. And we kind of got away from that a little bit. But in the Philippines, they're real big on knowing the company, right? Knowing the vision statement, the mission statement, knowing what you want and all of that stuff. And that really makes them apply for you a whole lot more when they can get to know your company and know who you are.
100%. So talk about this. Audience, if y'all aren't aware, we are part of his, we're his alumni and his mentorship is what I like to call it. So we also were in, and you're very familiar with this guy, Nehemiah Davis, and he talks a lot about income producing activities. Yep. So can you break down like some income producing activities that a VA could do within a person's business today? Like like if I'm working a 9-to-5, and I want to start a business, and let's give an example. Let's go with credit repair, that's something that everybody's familiar with. Yep. Like what is a first thing, like an income producing activity that a person can do if they want to start that?
So one is, of course, lead generation. If you can easily get VAs to help you generate leads, right? Yeah, help you convert those leads to book appointments with you, right? One of the things I do a lot on my website, I have an ebook. Anytime someone goes to download the ebook, I immediately have the VA reach out to them within 10, 15 minutes. Hey, thank you for downloading the ebook. We want to just reach out to you and see where you able to download it successfully. Hey, by the way, while you're on the call, can I ask if you had any questions, right? Yeah. Would you like to book an appointment, right? And just having VAs do that little process, I get a whole lot more bookings, right? Versus them just downloading the ebook and getting emails. Right. Right. That's one way. The other thing is, if you're in credit repair, of course, teaching your VA how to do disputing for you, right? Now, of course, disputing takes a lot of time. For sure. Right? If you can teach your VA how to do your disputing for you for your credit repair clients, that frees up your time, right? But now you're able to get more disputes done, right? And get more disputes back from the credit bureaus, right? And now you're able to collect more monthly payments from your clients, right? The more disputes you put out. Right. So that's one thing just in credit repair. The other thing is a lot of times in credit repair, clients drop out of your program just because they don't hear from you, lack of communication, and things like that. And one of the things we implemented was having all of the VAs reach out to every client every 2 weeks just to check in on them. Interesting. Right? Hey, how's it going? This is your client success manager. That's the title that we gave them, client success manager. Yep. Anytime someone has a client success manager reaching out to them every 2 weeks to check in on, it just makes them feel good, right? It's that reassurance, for sure. Reassurance, right? Yeah. Not only that, if they skipped any payments, now you got the client success manager that's able to collect a payment or either remind them about their payment. Not only that, your client success manager is now able to ask them if they have any referrals that they would like to send to you. They're also able to ask for any testimonials, right? Literally. So just your VAs doing that allows you to keep your clients in your company, in your business a little bit longer. Yep, retention. You're able to generate more revenue by getting more referrals, and they're able to collect testimonials from you because they've talked to the client and got great news from the client. And they're like, hey, do you mind giving us a testimonial? Right. So just having a VA do that process alone would definitely generate you more revenue. And I like that because I think a lot of people don't think about a client success manager. I feel like client success manager is just important as a lead gen. Yep. Because that builds LTV or, I'm gonna just say retention for people that aren't aware of what LTV means, lifetime value. But like, it's so important not only when you get the client, but also to keep the client. Keep the client. You get what I'm saying? So like, what are some things that you do with your client success manager, the VA wise, to having a virtual assistant business to keep LTV going on within your business? It's the same thing, right? And it's like that with just about any business that I own and run, right? I have every business has a client success manager. In my virtual staffing agency or VA business, we assign every client that comes through a client success manager. Their role is to reach out to the client every single week just to check in with them. Hey, how's it going this week? How's your VA working out? Any issues, any additional training that you feel like your VA may need, right? I'm just reassuring that person like, hey, we're here for you every step of the way. And remember, with the VA staffing agency, we collect weekly payments from our clients, right? So that's one reason why it's important for the client success manager to reach out every single week. Just to make, if they skip the payment, they're going to remind them about their payment.
But like, also, yo, you got payment coming through, man. I don't know what you're doing, but it's time to go. But also, you know, how's your thing going on this week?
Exactly, right. So that definitely helps a lot. Not only that, we want to catch anything, any issues, anything that's going wrong so that we could get ahead of it so that we could fix it before we go into the next week, right?
Nice. Yeah. Nice. So how many VAs do you have now for the audience to know? You number one in the world, man. They need to know how many VAs you got.
Yeah. At one point, I was up till about 230 VAs at one time, right? And probably about 95% of the VAs work for other clients. So we were getting paid from other clients. Now I'm down till about 100 right now because we're doing a different model now. Right? Not only that, I'm helping other people start and launch their own agencies. So I recruit for a lot of my staffing agencies and partners now, but also when clients come to us, say for example, someone reaches out and say, hey, I need a dispatching VA for my trucking industry. I want to be able to say, hey, we don't specialize in trucking VAs, but I have another company that specializes in dispatchers. They train them, they manage them. This is their specialty and their expertise. Let me send you over to this agency right here. So I do a lot of referrals now to a lot of my students that's been through my program. So we don't necessarily take on as many clients now. I dish the clients out to all of my mentees now. And of course, we split the revenue on the clients that I send.
50-50.
But everybody eats and it's a good thing for everybody now.
For sure.
And not only that, I don't have to worry about training the VAs in every industry, every skill. Now I have different people that specialize in these different areas that can train the VAs without me having to do it.
So how do you manage 100 virtual assistants at once?
Yeah.
It's a lot to be managing. The most we've had was 30.
Yeah.
Now we've reduced down to maybe like way reduced down because we realized quality over quantity. Yeah. We're down to maybe like 10, 15-ish, somewhere around there.
Not only that, you guys got a different model now. So at first, you're not just staffing. And so whenever you think about a staffing agency, you got different staffing models. One model is the management model where you're actually managing the VA for the client and they're paying you a weekly or a bi-weekly fee.
Right.
The other model is the direct hire model to where clients would pay you a one-time fee.
Yep.
You find a VA and you just place them with the company and you don't have to worry about managing the client or the VA, right? And the other model is the team model. And that model is where, for example, if I wanted to start a social media management company full of VAs, instead of you coming to me and I'm giving you a social media VA and you're paying me a monthly fee for it, right? I just hire 5 VAs and they can now service 10, 20, 30 different clients for me without me having to give all of them their own VA.
Exactly.
Right? So you got different models, but that's why you guys are down because you had a different model now. You're doing direct hire mostly instead of keeping and managing all of the VAs.
100%. And when we did have like a lot of management, that was the reason why we had to get more virtual assistants because we had to do more of the management side, or actually not the management side, the team side. Where we would have to have like a lot of people were coming to us for like social media managers, graphic designers. Like it was mainly marketing that people wanted, and then they wanted us to use our VAs or more VAs and place them, or not place them, but like work for them and their company. So that was another reason that we had so high amount of VAs. But how do you personally manage 100 of them?
So I have different teams, right? Different VAs and managers under me that help manage all of the different VAs for me, right? So I got about 5 managers now, and each one of them is responsible for managing about 10, 15 VAs on their own. So that we broke our company down to different teams. So everybody got different teams, Dragon, Wolfpack. We just broke.
Y'all naming things. Y'all got titles.
They all got different teams, right? And it builds, I wouldn't say it builds competition up. It does build competition up.
I'm about to say it does build the competition
and
for real.
Each team wants to have the best team.
We realized that ourselves, like our marketing team was so competitive.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to be the best team. They were like, yo, we're about to have outings. And we're like, the marketing team would always like diss the operations team. Yeah. And I don't know if you always had those type of things. They were like really, really competitive within each other.
Yep. So that creates an atmosphere to where now my managers are managing the other VAs for me. I don't have to report to, I don't have to talk to all of the VAs at one time. I just talk to my 5 managers and they report to me what's going on with each one of their team members and the VAs that's under them. So of course I got 100 VAs, but as far as communicating, I mostly only communicate with about 5 to 6 VAs that's on my team. Unless we have our weekly team meetings where everybody gets on the call. That's different. But that's how I just have other VAs that's helping me manage other VAs on my team.
So I got a personal question for you, right? So how does like your weekly team meetings, what if somebody is late for the meeting? Like what exactly does your company do or the agency in this matter? Like what does it do? What do you do with like attendance?
So, of course, you're going to have a few people that's late. But what we've implemented was we give an attendance bonus, right? That means if you show up to all of the team meetings, right? If you show up to work on time every day, if you have no over breaks, no under breaks, plus, like I said, you show up to all of the team meetings on time, you get a bonus every month, right? The bonus is about $50 a month for attendance. Just that alone helps the VAs show up to all the meetings, not be late for on time, all of that. Not only that, bonus. Yep, not only that, we play games, we have fun on team meetings. They win prizes on the team meetings. So it's a benefit for them to show up to the team meetings because we're going to have fun. We're going to enjoy each other. We're building a culture amongst the company where we're fun and it's not just serious all the time. The last team meeting about a month ago, we just had a talent show on the team meeting, right? We had a whole talent show. So they was on there singing, playing a guitar, doing magic tricks, doing all of that stuff, man. And they won some money. So we do all type of virtual team meetings, virtual games. And it's just fun for them to show up. It's not like a hard meeting. It's a fun meeting where you get to meet all of your team members. You get to talk about your goals, success that you had, small wins. We make it really fun and encourage them to show up, and they show up on time.
How often are your meetings, those meetings specifically? So
our weekly team meetings where we have everybody show up is Wednesday, every Wednesday, 5:30.
Got you. How often do you hop on?
I try to hop on every meeting. Now, I've missed a few meetings, but my managers step up and they run a meeting.
Got you.
But I try to and the reason, because I can't speak to and talk to every VA or every team member that's in my company. Most times the team meetings is where I get to see everybody. Not only that, we do new hire introductions every Wednesday. So we have new team members that come in, and I want to personally get to know them, hear them introduce themselves, me introduce myself to them, because it may be weeks or a month again before I actually have that one-on-one conversation with them again. So I try to make the meetings as much as possible.
Got you. That makes sense, especially if you have that many people.
Yeah. Now, outside of the team meetings, I do have morning meetings with my team members. My managers, they run different departments. I had the meetings with them every morning, and they let me know what's going on with the different team members, what's going on with the company. I have those morning meetings every morning. My big team meeting is only on Wednesday.
You still have the same one that's running all of your business, the entire company?
No, you're talking about Celine. So she started as my general VA. She was promoted to my operations manager. Then she was promoted to my COO. So I had her running the company for a while, and she actually got a really incredible offer for another position or another role.
Really?
And I kind of encouraged her to go ahead and take it because I couldn't match that offer.
Hey, she was great, man.
She was great.
Always responded to all of my messages. Because in the beginning, when we were in it, we were asking a whole lot of questions because we were like, dang, how do we do this? How do we do this? And she was very good at answering questions fast. Man, that sucks, man. She was very nice, man. Dang. You could have matched it, man. Help us. I'm just playing. So how do your VAs manage all of your other brick and mortar businesses that you have now?
So for one, my own event space, and I know you guys been to the event space.
Yep.
So my VAs help me manage that event space. So leads that come in, all of my bookings, they handle all the bookings. So they reach out to my leads, they give them pricing, they find out what days they want to book, they check the calendar to see if we're available, they send the contracts out, and then everything is mostly digital and electronic in my building as far as the doors and everything. So whenever that time slot is for them to come into the building, they let them in through the doors.
Oh, wow.
They watch the cameras to see what's going on.
I didn't know that.
If something is happening there at the event space, they'll report it to me or report it to my wife, and we'll call the police, whatever we need to do if something isn't going right. When it's time for them to check out, they check them out. Even if they're staying over late, the contact person for the party, or they'll speak through the cameras, right? Let them know, hey, you guys should be out of here in the next 15 minutes, right? So the VAs do all of that. And then even when the party is over, they schedule the cleaning crew to come in, right? They send out review requests. So everybody that booked party, my VAs make sure they get reviews from them. So they send out the review requests, they collect those, and they lock the doors back up. And
that's crazy, man. I didn't even know all that went into an event space. So that's crazy. Yeah. Like I know the workflow of an event space, but I didn't know it was that like intricate of how someone from an entire country could do all of that from an event space.
And the great thing is I give them a percentage of all the upsells that they can do. So the VAs work their butt off trying to sell the 360 camera. They try to do whatever they can to make that additional money. So they even help me generate more revenue in the event space as well. So with our kids salon, we have a kids salon located in East Point. It's called Kiddos Hair Studio. My wife runs that salon, as well as my daughter. She works there. So they help with the social media, posting, responding to DMs. If someone reaches out, they answer the phones. They put them on the calendar, and then they just follow up the leads and the clients. That's about it. So they help run. The VAs kind of help with it.
So you don't even have to be there.
I don't have to be there. My wife still have to be there.
I mean, but yeah, that's her stuff.
So, but she's there. You know, of course, you can't make everything digital and online when it comes to a salon. So you still have to be there and service your clients and things like that.
For sure. But I mean, like the actual part of like getting the leads, getting people to come in, booking the appointments, all that is all automated. She just really has to do her genius. Part. You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
And that's what most people aren't aware that VAs can actually assist you in. So, man, we could talk forever on this subject because VAs is such a really good topic. But for our audiences out there, like, what do you do? Like, how can they really just get more information about?
So I'm gonna say this, right? One of the most important things that I love about owning a staffing agency, it helped me eliminate any excuse that I have why I can't get something done, why I can't accomplish what I want to accomplish, why I can't build what I want to build. I know that, hey, even if I don't know how to do it, I can always hire somebody else that can do it for me, right? That's what I love most about a staffing agency, or just learning how to hire, period. Right. The other thing is the VAs has helped me become a better father, become a better husband, right? By being able to free up my time, have more time with my kids, my family, all of that. And I always say, even if you think you don't need a VA, your kids need you to need a VA.
For sure.
And one thing I didn't mention is, hey, my son, they have a VA that helped them with tutoring, right? Help them with their schoolwork, sits on a Zoom call with them. So helping with all type of work, that's something else that a VA can help you do. So even if you don't have a business right now and just have a 9-to-5, but you have a family, your VA still can help you if you did hire one. But if you want to get in contact with me, it's Kenn Collier, everywhere on social media, KENNCOLLIER.
Man, look, y'all heard it from the GOAT himself, man. Look, this conversation should go on for hours because him and I have been knowing each other for a minute, and it's a catch-up type of situation. But look, y'all tap in, get in touch with my guy. He is going to get y'all situated. This is really like a referral in a sense. This isn't even like a recommendation. This is something we personally did because we know it works.
Look, is generational wealth and legacy building something that you've been trying to do? Is legacy building something that seems hard? Is something that, is far-fetched? Well, look, I got something better for you that'll literally change the game and how you view things. We are coming out, and it's already there. Literally click the link below. We have something called a free family business workshop. This is a free training that's literally going to show you from A to Z on how to build legacy, what legacy means to us and what legacy should mean to you all. And guess what the method is based off of? The Rockefeller method. Have you wanted to make $600 billion just like the Rockefellers? Is this something that you've been struggling to do? Well, look, we got the best thing on the planet. The family business workshop is the way to go. So I'm telling you, click the link below, join that family business workshop, learn the Rockefeller method the right way, because we're literally doing the exact same thing that they're doing. The whole life policy, the trust, the ministry trust, the family trust, the private trust, showing you how to build everything from the ground up. This is what we're going to be doing. So look, appreciate you. Tap below.
Put all the reviews down. Y'all already know. And I'll see you in the next episode. Peace.